In June 1934, two gold prospectors had been digging and carrying out blasting, making their way through the thick rock for gold in the mountains of San Pedro in Wyoming. When the dust began to settle, prospectors made a surprising discovery. Saw that they had opened a small room, about 1.2 meters high, 1.2 meters wide and 4 meters deep, where the remains of a small human was. The origins of this small human were a mystery. Local Native American tribes were known to tell stories of legendary little people, tiny spirits, or Nimriga. In some of these stories, the little people had magical powers or healing powers. In other stories, they were a fierce tribe that attacked the American natives with poisoned arrows. Beware of little people. It was a common expression. The tribes, especially the Shoshone tribe, speak of the little people as an aggressive race measuring approximately 50 centimeters. According to the native tradition, they live in the mountains of San Pedro in south-central Wyoming. It is often said that if one of the Nimrigar got sick or was old, died at the hands of his own people with a blow to the head. They also said that small mummies brought bad luck to anyone who found them, and to date Native Americans warn people of his tribe of small people Diferanteras that roamed the San Pedro Mountains of Wyoming. Most of these claims were considered folklore to the discovery of what is now known as the Mummy Peter. The discovery of the mummified remains attracted much attention in the area, causing many questions and creating controversy. There were many who doubted the veracity of the story of prospectors, believing that the remains were manufactured and the story a hoax. Scientists came to the area, all with a deep desire to determine the truth behind the little guy. With a height in a sitting position of 17 centimeters and a height of 35 feet estimated centimeter, it was clear that this was no ordinary remains. The scientists conducted extensive tests on Peter. First, they reviewed the outer physical evidence. Peter was found in a sitting position, legs crossed, on a small ledge inside what appeared to be a cave man-made. With bulging eyes and the skull crushed, Peter was very well preserved, so much so that even his nails were visible. A gelatinous substance covering the head of Peter, becoming clear that some sort of liquid was used to preserve the body. His flattened nose had a full set of teeth, and her skin was brown and wrinkled, creating the appearance of an old man. 10 Ray of the Mummy of San Pedro. Image, Wikipedia. In the years following the discovery of Peter, the scientists conducted a more invasive testing using 10 rays to try to unravel the mystery. Several anthropologists initially concluded that the remains were those of a baby, probably prematurely born or died shortly after birth. This, however, is an area of disagreement, since a second body of scientists believe that the remains are those of an adult, possibly 16 to 65 years old. They said the 10 rays revealed sharp teeth, and the presence of food in the stomach that looked like raw meat. 10 rays also suggested that Peter had suffered a violent death, showing broken bones, a spine and damaged skull. The discovery of the mummified remains led to significant speculation that the remains were a hoax. The presence of the gelatinous substance on the head of Pedro led some to believe that the remains were really those of a dead baby, recovered from a medical facility, or prospectors had created the remains by a crude form of taxidermy. However, others argued that the remains was evidence of a race like leprechaun, as mentioned in the legends of local indigenous peoples, or evidence of an extraterrestrial being. It was difficult for many to imagine that a human being of such small stature could be an adult. Image, Sturm photo, Cody, Wyoming. While modern tests could provide many more answers about the origins of Peter, such a test is not possible due to the location of the remains, as it has been known for several years. It is said that the remains were put on display during fairs in the 1940s, then was bought by a man named Ivan Goodman. After the death of Goodman in 1950, the remains passed was a man named Leonard Waller, sometimes reported as Walder, a businessman from New York, who died in 1980. The remains have not been seen since. With remains nowhere, the mysteries of Pedro endure to this day. Most scientists agree that the remains of Peter were those of an adult human male. If so, Pedro could be the proof that there is a hidden little people widely commented by Native Americans race.